What's up guys, JNO here and welcome today to another episode of Evolving England. We have gone into 2017, it's June, just after the second season of this save in the Premier League anyway, and we are coming up against Scotland in this episode after having decent success in the games that you have missed, but also in this episode we will look at how I actually pick my England squad. It has been asked for in the comments down below. But before we get into all of that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's have a look at how we've done since you were last with us.
I think I'd be better off all alone.
Okay, so the last time you were with us, we had played the Slovenia and the Slovakia game, having won it 3-0 and 2-0. Since then, we have played Malta, which we won 6-0, a very convincing win. And then we played Israel in a friendly, which we won 5-0. As you can see, a lot of new players were trialled in the friendly game against Israel, with Redmond, Walcott, Vardy, Barkley, Cook, Chalabola, probably said that so wrong, Chalaba, there we go, Creswell getting the game, Gomez and Galloway playing in defence, and Pickford in goal, but still coming out with a convincing win. But we're just seeing how they all performed. And then this year we've only played against Lithuania in 2017. We won 2-1, but it wasn't too convincing, unfortunately. We had Callum Wilson playing. I think he came on as a substitute for Harry Kane. He's been doing really well this season in the Premier League, and Leighton Baines scored a penalty. Leighton Baines also coming back into form big time, which is why he's come back into the squad. But so you guys know how I pick these teams and why suddenly players are getting into the first team that you wouldn't have heard about before or haven't mentioned before. I always go off of form mainly, and then also I look at the youngsters because I want to bring them up. I want the youngsters to be ready for the tournaments. If you look at the Germany side that won the World Cup, those youngsters have been brought up really well up the national system, and I'm kind of hoping to emulate that, but we shall see if I'm successful. But the way I pick my side is we go to the national pool, and as you can see here I have my own screen, club selection but slightly changed, and then I literally filter it by the positions I'm looking for, and then we go by average rating as the thing that decides how they are actually shown or ranked. And so Joe Hart and Jack Butland both having 7 average ratings with 56 and 49 appearances, we're definitely going to get into the side. Now Ben Garrett, he's not in the best league, 50 appearances, he would have been third choice, but we've gone with Fraser Forster purely because of the league that Ben Garrett is in. But if we change the filter to say the strikers, you can see why sometimes some players get in that don't necessarily factor in that much anyway. Now here we would have had Harry Kane as the first choice, 7.4 average rating, 23 goals and 41 appearances. He was getting in the side. Then we had Berahino, 7.11 average rating, 21 goals, 39 appearances. He's a certain choice. Now with Sterling, I don't consider him a striker, so we skipped him out. Then you have Theo Walcott and Andy Carroll, but if we look at how many appearances they had, 5 appearances and 12 appearances, or these are starts anyway. Fair enough, the average ratings are good, but it's a lot easier to get a high average rating on less appearances. So he actually went all the way down to Callum Wilson, who had 40 appearances, 17 goals, 6.89 average rating, not as good as some of those above him, but he scored more goals. So with strikers, I'm going to be looking at the goals scored. That would be the same for wingers as well, but less so. I'm not going to take it into account as much, but when we look at the wingers, Townsend has got into this squad because he's had 32 appearances, 7 goals, 7.55 average rating. Then Kieran Gibbs is actually second, but I don't consider him an attacking winger, so he didn't get picked, and he's only had 15 appearances. Jack Grealish, I wanted to pick him, but he's already been confirmed for the under-21s, which is a shame. He would have had a run out probably if we were winning. And so next, Patrick Roberts didn't really get the appearances, so it was Milner and Sterling, and then Redmond also. But those would have been probably picked from attacking midfielders right, which I think there were less standout performances. But like for instance Lallana, 7.04 average rating, but 4 appearances, so it's easy to get a decent average rating when you have so few appearances. I'm not going to pick players who aren't playing. That's just the way I look at it. Fair enough, I understand if you look at the actual Euro 2016 real life squad, there are a lot of players there that haven't necessarily played many games who've got into the squad. They're looking at different things than I am. This is how I would be England manager, and that is why sometimes players that get picked aren't necessarily the ones you'd have imagined would have. Now, here you can look at Jamie Vardy, 48 appearances, 17 goals. Does he deserve a shout? He just seems very up and down and very inconsistent with that average rating, which is why he's not made this squad, purely because there are strikers that have scored around the same who definitely seem more consistent. Anyway, that is how I pick my England squad, so let's get into the Scotland game and see if that actually works. If you're wondering why I'm wearing the headset, it's because my microphone is going to be sent away to get repaired. If you've noticed recently, there's been a lot of fuzzy noises in my videos, which has been really annoying for me. I like to think that as far as video and audio quality go, I'm usually pretty good, or was pretty good when I started, and it's really dropped because the microphone's been pretty poor. So hopefully now, at least with this, it's a temporary fix while I get my microphone sorted. So you will see this headset in a lot of videos, but from what I've read on reviews, it's a pretty good headset, so it should do the job. Anyway, the lineup we are going with is Joseph Hart in goal, with Cresswell and Eric Dyer as the wing backs, Stones and Smalling as the two centre backs. Lewis Cook is getting the game again as the half back, with Ward-Prowse and Dele Alli as the two centre mids. Milner and Sterling are the two wingers, with Kane up top. Now Prowse and Milner can swap, of course, if I feel like that needs to be done. And we're coming up against a Scotland team with Marshall in goal, Robertson at left back, Callis at right back, Cooper and Wallace as the two centre backs, Scott Brown and MacArthur as the two centre mids, Snodgrass and Morrison, with Phillips just behind Rhodes as the striker. Alright, so it is game time. Hopefully we do not let Scotland get a victory against us. It was a close run thing in the reverse fixture in Scotland, but we did manage to pick up the win thanks to Lewis Cook, partly the reason why he's been included in this squad, because he really came up for us big in that game, managing to get us a late goal which got us the 3 points. Hopefully it's a lot more convincing here at Wembley today. Milner, however, has lost it to Snodgrass. That was a poor touch and it's been hit down the line, but Stone should pick it up, passes it back to Hart, who finds Lewis Cook. Great ball to Kane. Kane passes it back to Dele Alli, to Milner, to Harry Kane, puts it out wide to Eric Dyer. Can he find a crossing? Yes he can. Sterling, it is that easy, that simple. 6 minutes in, Raheem Sterling has the goal, Dyer with the assist, and things are looking as rosy as they were since the last time we saw you. And if you can't tell by my voice, I'm pretty damn well stoked. It's just a shame I really don't like Sterling in real life, because he's amazing on the game, often one of my best players when I do play him, but a lot of the time I feel like I don't want to play him just because of my real life bias. But I've got to think of what's best for England, not what's best for me. Anyway, Lewis Cook gets the ball to Ward-Prowse to Kane, who finds Cresswell, whips the ball in. Bit of miscommunication possibly there by the Scottish defence, they're feeling the pressure. Milner now whips the ball in. Can he get the ball? No. MacArthur picks it up and we move on, but 5 shots, 6 shots, 5 on target to 1 shot by Scotland. We are bossing this game as far as chances are concerned. Possession wise, Scotland actually have most of that, which is surprising, but as long as we're the ones getting the goals, I'm fine with them having the possession. Cresswell wins the ball, gets it to Sterling, who finds Kane making the run. Unfortunately nothing comes of the run, and Scotland hoof the ball up the pitch, but Dyer wins that ball. It's all over the place at the moment. Who's going to actually grab hold of this ball and make something happen? Ward-Prowse now has it to Kane, out wide to Dyer. Can he find another ball into Alli? 2 goals, 25 minutes in. Eric Dyer with the second assist, finding Dele Alli, and it's looking simple, pretty simple at the moment. Kane dropping back to make something happen. He gets in the box there, to be fair to him, but Dele Alli is the furthest forward, gets his head on that and gets it past Marshall, and we are 2-0 up. I feel really weird with a headset on. I mean, I know I do it for some of my FIFA videos, but I'm just not used to doing it when I'm filming Football Manager. and depending on how long the microphone takes to get fixed, I might have to do this for fantasy football or whatever I decide to do as far as Euro 2016 coverage. Anyway, for those of you that do watch my fantasy football series or any of my football series, we'll quickly have a look here. Milner crosses the ball into Sterling and it's 3-0. Interrupting what I was trying to say there, guys. Come on, I know you want to win this game, but let me finish my sentences. Anyway, for those of you watching my fantasy football programs or my football shows, let me know what you think I should do for Euro 2016. Now, I will be playing fantasy football some way or form with Euro 2016. I'm not sure I'm going to cover it like I do with the FPL season, purely because it's quite nice to have a bit of a rest from that, because a lot of work goes into looking at stats, looking at players' prices, all that kind of stuff. It's a very work intensive show to do as far as preparation goes. So what I'm thinking of doing is just covering Euro 2016, giving my thoughts on the games that I watch, because I won't be able to watch them all, I've still got work, but I will be watching all of England's group stage games, and I'm thinking just, you know, maybe cover how I'm doing in the fantasy football games I'm in, but not going too much into depth. Of course, maybe giving you guys a fantasy football league to join as well, although I'm pretty late on that, so I may just recommend other people's. And then just talk about England, because the English players are the ones I know the most about, and then I can always talk about the later stages if England aren't in there. So let me know what you think I should do in the comments down below, and let's do this halftime team talk before this video gets way too long. Okay, we're dominating this game, so part of me is thinking just bring on players that I would like to get a look at. Kieran Trippier's had a great season, so it'd be interesting to have a look at how he performs. Reece Oxford is definitely someone that might be worth having a cheeky look at. And then finally, you know what, Andros Townsend had such good stats after this season that we might just have a look at how he does as well. I know 3 subs is risky, but we've got a 3 goal cushion, so I feel like I can take that risk. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass. But anyway, we've made our substitutions, so I'm going to have to stick with it now because I've confirmed them. Hopefully one of these players can prove to me why I put them in the side. Redmond and Callum Wilson are definitely players I considered putting on just then, but Callum Wilson I know can score for us, I've seen it happen. Redmond's had a chance already and he played pretty well. We've got to start thinking of the players we're going to take to the World Cup now, which is not an easy job at all. I look at my side and I think there's good players, but there's no players there that I think I can't do without, which is a shame. It would be nice to have like a Messi or a Ronaldo or someone I was just like, yes, he has to go no matter what. But I think every place is pretty much up for grabs. As you can see, Rooney isn't even in this squad. Very, very quiet second half. Literally nothing has happened. Scotland have had 11 shots now. England have really taken their foot off the gas after going 3-0 up. I don't know if their chances were poor chances. They didn't have any highlights for them anyway. But could they get a consolation goal here? I would note ball's off the pitch. It's full time at Wembley, 3-0. What a shocking second half that was. But we got the points, which is what's important. And that has meant we are still top of the league. Slovakia, though, have won every game apart from the game against us. So that is going to be a massive fixture when we next play them. That will probably decide who is top. Now Slovenia, apart from us and the game against Slovakia, have also won all of their games. So if Slovenia can beat Slovakia in the reverse leg, then it could be a very, very open table. But at the moment, as long as we keep doing what we're doing and we keep winning, we should be going to the World Cup. I'm thinking to come in on the Slovakia game. I know the Slovenia game is of some importance, but I think it'd be nice if we could start getting towards the World Cup before Football Manager 16 kind of runs its course as something that's interesting on YouTube. So we will play the Turkey game, which is a friendly, the Slovenia game and the Malta game away from camera. Slovakia game, by then we'll either know we're going to the World Cup, or that game will decide if we're going to the World Cup. And then I reckon Lithuania could do a double header episode there, 2 games at Wembley to finish off the qualifying process, and then we will be going to the World Cup, where I will probably do another highlight package of the friendlies and go straight into the World Cup and see how we can do, hopefully better than we did in the Euros, because that would mean we get to the final, and hopefully we don't lose to Wales again. But anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been JNO, you've been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.
We can stay up until it's light.